Sunday morning. I'm sorry, I have to wear my glasses or I'd be squinting, so that's not good for my wrinkles. Anyway, that was a pretty scary picture, wasn't it? I'm going to show you one more in a few minutes. I just want to get a couple of things out of the way before I talk about that picture. Last week's video, when we were packing to come to Palm Springs, I said, oh, come on, I'll take you guys on that trip with us. And unfortunately, that trip ended up taking nothing to do with that picture, you guys. No, honest, I did not recover that quickly. It rained. And it was a 27-hour drive, and we never got anywhere near the beach. It was horrendous. And we're from Vancouver, British Columbia, where, I mean, it's like living in Noah's Ark when we get our rain, but this was absolutely the worst. I will just throw a really quick clip in here so dealing with. So I apologize, maybe we can do that on the way home, because some of those beaches are so beautiful. And then the other thing quickly, if you guys enjoy my videos, I'm getting better at it, you guys. I'm kind of like trial and error. Anybody ever wants to start a YouTube video, just look at my channel, and probably anybody out there who's a seasoned creator will say, this is wrong, that's wrong, she didn't do this right. But you know what? At least I'm doing it. So anyway, I would appreciate it if you guys subscribe. It'd be really awesome if you gave me a like, and that little button it's right there. Just click that, and the little bell means, all that means is that you're going to get an email on Sunday morning saying, hey, Leedy's video is out. And then of course, any participation, especially on this particular subject we're going to talk about, anything you can share with us that people need to know, that would really be a good thing, because this is a pretty important subject. And now I'm talking from my experience. Now, I used to be an insurance broker, and I did disability and office overhead and key man insurance and buy-sell agreements and so forth. But everything that we talk about, you still need to contact your own broker and have that discussion with them, and any medical stuff you need to speak to your physician, okay? But I do want you guys to be aware of some of this. Okay, what I hear often, especially having been a snowbird for 20 years, is that, oh, well, we don't have to bother with travel insurance or emergency insurance because we're covered through, John's work. Through your previous employer, that's awesome, that's really great, and it's save a lot of money having that benefit. But what I really would like you guys to look at is, just because you're covered, they're offering you coverage through the association group of the company that you worked for, don't assume that you're going to be covered for the whole 4 months or 2 months that you're out of the country. They may say, yes, you're covered, but you're only covered for 2 weeks, or you are covered for a month. After that, you're on your own, or maybe you can upgrade, or put a rider on it for a longer length of time. But I know people that have gone, oh my goodness, all this time we were down here, we thought we were covered, but it was only good for 30 days. So you need to find that out, okay? Then the other thing you need to find out, if you are covered by the company that you worked for, your association group plan is medication. I've got 2 friends who have been on prednisone on and off over many years in their lives, and they're perfectly fine. It's just something that they need if there's lots of dust in the air or whatever. I mean, I'm not privy to all the medical information, but insurance companies don't like that particular drug. Now, I know both of them have to fly home because they will only cover them. I'm not sure if it's 3 weeks or a month. I mean, I don't ask they're kind of personal questions, but they have to fly home and then just kind of be home for, 48 hours, and then they can go back down again, because there's a time if they're on that drug they have to come home. Obviously, they've got the months, but that particular drug does put restrictions on them. So if you've got somebody in your family that's on a drug that's kind of like you're really not sure, maybe something a little different, you may just want to check with the company and see what it is. And you know what? Put that correspondence in an email and get an email back from them. So you've got a leg to stand on. If God forbid there's ever a problem, you've got it in black and white. You did your homework, you did your due diligence. Now, you know, that makes your problem a little bit easier if there should be one. So make sure you check that out. We've never worked for a company. We've been self-employed for many, many years, my husband and I, and so we have to buy our own. And that's always been, that was always, you know, not too bad. It was just something we had to do. We normally always bought an annual policy, so it was good for 12 months. We needed a 4-month coverage on that for sure. So because we were normally down here for the longest period was January, February, March, April, or half of April, and then we go home, and then you come back again for maybe a part of October and November. And so on an annual policy, we just we were covered for that year, and it was done once, and that was a good thing. Now we've changed things up a little bit because we've sold our place, so we may not be here as often. And knowing that, we're getting older and it's getting expensive. So what we had to do, or what we did, is I reduced we used to have zero deductible, which I don't know if that was necessary or not, but you know, yeah. Anyway, I did. I should have probably checked into that a little bit more. But so we went like with a $250 deductible, because it really is emergency insurance. It's like something major happens, kind of like that little picture I'm going to tell you about. So yeah, you just got to figure it out, talk to your broker, and they can give you the best advice that's probably going to be suitable for your particular situation. And what we have found, if you're anywhere for a certain length of time, we're in the same area all the time, we actually have found a doctor here that a lot of people seem to go to, and for $45 we can go in, make an appointment, and he will tell us whether, you know, should I be having some antibiotics for this cold that's never going away or whatever. And if it's something that's much bigger, then yes, then I'm going to go to emergency and use my emergency insurance. And remember, that's exactly what it is, you guys. It's emergency. It's not like, oh, well, I had a really bad cold at home and now things come back and I'll just go. It's not medical insurance like you have at home. It's emergency medical insurance. A lot of people get confused. Okay, so get yourself a really good broker. That's what I have found the easiest. Can you guys hear that train? I hope I'm going to talk a little bit louder. So you're going to have to fill out a medical questionnaire. And for goodness sakes, if you are in doubt about any of the questions on that questionnaire, that you're not sure how it relates to a certain medical situation with you, call your doctor or go see your doctor and ask him about it. How should you answer this question? Yes or no? You don't want to say yes to something that you didn't need to, and you might get rated, which means that you're going to pay a little bit more because you have a particular problem. So you want to make sure you answer them correctly, like on the button. And the other one is that don't self-diagnose, okay? I mean, I used to have sit down and do medical questionnaires with my clients, and they say, oh, well, yeah, I think I have a little heart thing happening. Yeah, I'm on that 81 milligram aspirin thing. And I go, okay, well, just a minute, let's back up. So you went to see the doctor about a heart problem or a potential heart problem, and he put you on it. No, nothing like that. I just heard that. Yeah, you know, don't self-diagnose and then report it on a medical questionnaire, okay? Go to the people that are the experts that can walk you through this if you're in doubt. Some of you know your history so well, it's not a problem, it's not an issue. Great, do it. Because you know what, you got to keep one thing in mind. And if I'm just off the subject here for 2 seconds, well, not off the subject. All of us, we have car insurance, we have home insurance, we have medical or emergency travel insurance. We insure so many things, and our premiums are astronomical for some of us. You know what? You got to make sure you cross your T's and dot your I's, because what's the first thing that happens is I've maybe heard 1 or 2 stories where people say, oh my gosh, I had this major accident, and the insurance company was so great. Like, they just said, how much do you need? We're going to pay this or whatever. Yeah, it doesn't quite seem to happen that way. I have watched it with my own clients who were on disability. Some of them were ready to give up on even trying to claim disability because of the stack of paperwork and stuff they had to do. Insurance companies seem to make it quite difficult and complicated for you to make a claim. So you know what? The more you can do on your side, that is that you have dotted your I's and crossed your T's and you got it in writing. It gives you a lot of manpower there to fight anything that they may contradict. Because believe me, the first thing they're going to try to do is ask for your medical. You sign that at the very bottom, that they can go third-party medical records or whatever, and you had a problem that you didn't write down, and if they can in any way trail that back to that problem 5 years ago and you didn't report it, you're on your own, probably. Okay, so that's just my opinion, but give it some thought. And this, you guys, that's the question now to you guys, a short one. Have you ever experienced an insurance claim that was a nightmare? Yes or no? Or elaborate. That'd be good to hear. Just put it down below. Okay, so that is your personal insurance. And then the other thing that I want to talk about, and this is it's really kind of scary, and a lot of people don't think about it. And my kids will tell you, I'm kind of like, I try to think ahead all the time. And I'm kind of like, if I do all of these things, I'll probably never need it. But the one day or the one time that we go somewhere and it's needed, I will not have done what I normally do. So I'm kind of like, all right. What I do, my husband and I exchange. This is just one of my little YouTube cards. It's got my cell phone number on it and my YouTube channel, some information. And I've just got on here my wife. And then on the back I've got, for emergency purposes, call my wife. We are staying at Outdoor Resort, 69411 Ramon Road, Cathedral City, Palm Springs. Or call my sister and her name and her phone number, because we could be in the same car together, and so then I'm not available. I mean, if you're in a car accident and you couldn't speak, or we had about, I'm going to say 8 years ago, we had a friend who loves horseback riding, and he had left his wallet in his car, because you're riding a horse, and he had a terrible fall. Actually, his horse got spooked and he got thrown off his horse. He had all the proper gear on, whatever. Anyway, he had a major injury. He was taken to Eisenhower Hospital, and I can't remember the exact time frame. I'm thinking the accident happened about 10 o'clock in the morning. I don't think they were able to find his wife until about 5:30, 6 o'clock that evening, because everything he had in his wallet was information about home. And they weren't able to find any contact information. Our cell phones, I don't know about you guys, mine's locked. I don't know if you could get in it, and would you be able to find the right person to contact? So you know what, you guys, this is so simple. I know it's handwritten, but please exchange it with your loved one. So if you're off by yourself doing something, they can find your loved one in as short a period of time. They may be needed to consult with on an issue if you are in the hospital. And don't rely on technology. Put a little card in your wallet, something that you have with you, or something where technology is not involved, okay? I know years ago in our passports, Canadian passports anyway, there was a page actually that you had to sign, and there was also a page where you could put your medical contacts. And we have the 10-year one now, and that's not available. I found it in there, I looked. So please do that, just so your loved ones can be with you if, God forbid, anything ever happens. There's probably lots more things I could tell you. One I do want to just cover very quickly, because it was horrible, is this face of mine about I'm going to say it's probably 5 years ago now. I fell down our front stairs at our place here, not here, but in Palm Springs, and I smashed my whole face. As you can see, my whole side was black and blue. I'd broken my wrist, and so I ended up in the hospital with a floppy wrist that was severely broken, but more importantly, they found I had a brain bleed. And so I was rushed into ICU immediately. And I only spent 2 days there because they wanted to monitor it. It was a small one, but they had to monitor it, apparently. I'm not a doctor. And so I couldn't have my wrist operated on to set properly because I couldn't be put under. And so that really upset that was my empty water bottle, and the wind's coming up. The orthopedic surgeon was a little choked about that, so he did stab the old needle in and tried to set it as best he could. And I had a really crooked wrist, and that's why I was wearing a big piece of jewelry there, so maybe you can't really tell. And so the insurance company in that particular incident, honest to goodness, it was finally the specialist that was looking after me said, stop calling. You need to stop calling. They must have had somebody on the phone the whole 48 hours. Can she be moved? Can she be moved? Can she be moved? We want to talk to the specialist. All they wanted was for me to be out of ICU because ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. And of course, I must say, in the US, they love us Canadians with our emergency travel insurance because it's like an ATM machine walking in. Mind you, you know what? They never pay what the bill is. It always goes, they go and negotiate it, and it is what it is. But you know what? I got great care and I was looked after. But I'll tell you, the insurance company was a pain in the derriere because they just wouldn't leave anybody alone. And we were in a very stressful situation, and as was my husband, because we didn't know which way the brain bleed was going to go. So yeah, okay, I'm going to end this with a really kind of funny story. While I was in ICU, I think it was the first night, I can't really remember, but it was about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I guess I was dozing in and dozing out, and I had my own nurse, because beautiful big room, I mean, holy man, it was like the Hilton. And this lady came in and she was touching my arm. She's going, hi, can I call you Liedy? Hi Liedy, how are you doing? And I said, oh yeah, I'm doing okay, you know, and they're taking good care of me. And she goes, you know, she said, I'm the, she wasn't the priest, but she was the minister, I guess, the clergy for the hospital. And so she said, would you like to, now I'm not an overly religious person. I certainly believe that there's something out there that's way bigger than us. I'm, you know, whatever it is, it's the universe or whatever, but I don't know if it's, you guys see that line across here? But anyway, so when she's touching my arm and I looked at her and I said, you want to pray with me? And she said, yes. Would you like me to say a prayer? Well, you know what, as crappy as I might have been feeling, I mean, I sat halfway up in my bed and looked at her and said, have you been told something that we don't know yet? Because I'm going, why is this woman in here offering to say prayers with me? Mind you, of course, I mean, she was very sweet and she was very nice. And I said to her, you know what? I know I'm not well, and probably all the help I can get at this point would not be a bad option. So we did have a moment of prayer. And, you know, probably hindsight looking back, that was probably a good moment to have with her. But I'll tell you, it was kind of funny because I thought, I was like, you know, knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Like, oh, like, anyway, you guys, I'll see you next week. Do your homework on your travel insurance. I don't care where you're going in the world. Do it. Take care. Bye.